Hey guys, it's Chris, and welcome back to another smoke break. I apologize, I've been MIA for a couple weeks, but I've been dealing with all this book stuff, so stay tuned for some book updates as well. I have 2 videos filmed on the cover reveal of the paperback and the hardcover edition, so no book updates today in this particular episode. Look forward to those videos. All I'm waiting on is Amazon to get their shit straight. They have the books listed everywhere now, but Amazon, US, and Canada does not have the pre-order button. So we have about 34 days, 33 days until the book comes out to the world. Really, really excited about it. So all this book stuff has come together all at one time. And the audiobook, by the way, is already being produced, which was faster than I thought. So it looks like that may come out at about the same time. But anyway, it's all ready to go. I have books here. They are perfect and gorgeous and all that good stuff. And I'm just waiting on Amazon to have the pre-order button pop up for the physical copies. It's already there for the ebook and many other places as well, but I'm just waiting on the physical copy. So I apologize. I want to talk about a couple things today. Really quick, I want to talk about Dune, the Dune trailer that came out a couple weeks ago, the Matrix 4 trailer. I won't play these. I actually had recorded this video and didn't record for some reason, and so I'll let those play in the background, but I want to talk about it. So first, let's talk about the Matrix. I'll play this in the background here, and slap something over just for the sake of copyright. So I'll play this trailer here, and by the way, as usual, I will put time stamps in the description below and maybe chop these up if this is, but this won't be too long today. So I'll play this in the background here and slap something over it so I can avoid copyright issues, which still pisses me off because we promote their shit. But it looks like this is almost like a repeat of the first Matrix. I mean, it looks a lot better, as you can see, for those who've seen the trailer. Neo is having flashbacks. He's been reinserted to the Matrix somehow, even though apparently he and Trinity died in Revelations. So we'll see what they do, but it looks like we have a young Morpheus and another crew essentially kind of waking Neo up again, and he's having these flashbacks and whatever to, his old life. He looks like John fucking Wick here. Maybe John Wick actually takes place inside the Matrix. I don't know. Trinity shows up here again as well, and apparently they're both living normal lives in the Matrix, but they got the same sense that something is wrong when they're taking all these blue pills. Maybe they're prescribed those by the machines to keep him in check or whatever, since that was the agreement, was peace somehow. But it looks like he's being essentially woken up again. So you see here, he's dumping out the blue pills, and at some point he's going to take the red pill. Alice in Wonderland, of course, the big allegory to this movie. This shot right here is showing him a little bit older. Is this a young Morpheus? I don't know. Lawrence Fishburne is not in this movie from what I understand, and it pisses me off because I love Morpheus. You got the White Rabbit, so it's almost like it's a parallel of the first movie where they're waking him up again. Mirrors are now portals. And you got to think, this movie changed the way filmmaking was done. It changed film, the entire industry. We have the dojo scene again right here. And this looks to be badass, and he's obviously remembers who he is right here. But the point being that it seems to be they're kind of repeating everything. I don't really know. Maybe I'm just misunderstanding, or they're just not putting everything in the trailer, obviously. But I really look forward to it to see what they do with it. I just wanted to see Lawrence Fishburne back in this film. Maybe he'll make a cameo or something. I'm not really sure. But I was saying, this changed movies. When this came out, this changed the way movies were filmed, the way they were made, the production value, and now it's only got even better. Can you only imagine what they can do now? And as you can see, even in the trailer, it's going to look so good visually, regardless if it's a great movie or not, which I would hope it will be. So everything looks so much cleaner, and of course, high definition or whatever, Ultra HD, all that good stuff as well. The colors are more vivid. If you remember the old movie, we had the green tint over the Matrix. Whenever they were in the Matrix, the whole movie was tinted green, and the real world more of a blue. So anyway, I really look forward to the Matrix. It's one of my favorite all-time things as far as movies go, and I'm looking forward to it. And I believe it comes out December the 22nd. So this Christmas season, this holiday season is going to be outstanding as far as movies and trailers. And then we have the Dune trailer. I will put up this in the background as well. Maybe you guys have seen this. I'm sure you have. It came out a couple weeks ago, I believe. So I'll play this in the background as well. But Dune, I don't know a lot about Dune. I know the basics of Dune, and so I really want to get into Dune. I just haven't had time with all the other stuff, and obviously I was into Ice and Fire so deep. And we'll talk about House of the Dragon here in a minute as well, by the way, as well as a quick little Witcher thing. But I know the basics. I know there's a character named Paul, and you see him here in the trailer. He essentially starts having dreams or whatever it may be. Maybe it's visions. Essentially, he can tell the future or something. He's gifted in some ways, but he doesn't understand it. And I guess he's being kind of led to become the next leader. I believe his father runs an entire planet. But I know that they all end up on a planet called Arrakis, I believe, where there is spice, I believe, just in the sand. And the spice is the most valuable thing in the universe or whatever, so everybody's always fighting over it. Everybody's in this movie, by the way. Jason Momoa, Josh Brolin, Zendaya obviously is in it. She's going to be the main love interest of Paul. But other than that, I really don't know much about the Dune universe. I know Star Wars had heavy influences from Dune, and so I think I'd really enjoy it. I don't know if I've ever read any of Frank Herbert's stuff. I don't know if I have. Maybe I have in a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, and I just don't remember, because I do know the basics somehow or another. So maybe I've read something over the years or whatever. But this looks really, really good, and it's kind of the classic, coming of age, the chosen one type thing. It's the way it looks to me. I could be wrong. Any Dune experts, let me know. I'm just saying the very basic level, where there's a planet or whatever it may be, where there's natural resources that everybody wants to use for power and all that kind of stuff, and it's that type of thing as far as the core of the story. But really looks good. I'm really looking forward to it. Again, I have not seen or read, to my knowledge, any Dune stuff. I just know the basics. So I'm looking forward to learning about Dune. And then, of course, you have the infamous sandworms, which pop up here in a few minutes in this trailer. That's the one big iconic thing about Dune. Almost like the lightsaber to Star Wars, the sandworm is the big iconic, I don't know, thing, iconography or whatever for Dune. So, and there's the spice in the sand. I believe it's just in the sand, because she mentions in the trailer you can kind of smell the spice in the morning. Zendaya, her character, I don't know all the characters' names, so I apologize. She lives on the planet, but there's always people coming to the planet trying to take it over and to control all the spice. And here you go with the big badass sandworm. So anyway, Dune coming out October the 22nd. Again, this whole holiday season is going to be outstanding for movies, as well as TV shows like The Witcher and all that good stuff as well. So anyway, let's see. Let's talk really quick about The Witcher. There's not really any updates on The Witcher other than just the knowledge that is coming out December 17th. So we already did the Witcher review on the trailer, so I'll link that in the description below. The Witcher Season 2, I really look forward to it. I explained in that video, probably episode 1 is going to be a short story, but it will get into the novels. This will not be some weird thing with all these different timelines like we had in the first season. They confused a lot of people. It will be a singular timeline now. But essentially, the synopsis, I would say, of Season 2 is that Geralt has now met up with Ciri, his destiny due to the little surprise, and takes Ciri under his wing back to Kaer Morhen, where that's the Citadel, where that's the wolf school of the Witchers, where he learned to be a Witcher and went through the trial of the grasses. He'll take her back to Kaer Morhen, and she'll train to become a Witcher, but she will not undergo that process, that trial, because she's special anyway with the elder blood that she has running through her veins, and she's trying to figure out who she is and where she fits in this new world and the continent as the Nilfgaardian Empire continues to conquer. And remember, she just lost her family and her entire kingdom of Sintra. So The Witcher 2 is going to be, I imagine it's going to be a lot better than Season 1, probably more budget. I hope we see some more signs, magical signs from Geralt. I also have a video going over all the signs as well, so I'll link that in the description below as well. But really looking forward to it, and The Witcher comes out December the 17th. So we got a lot going on during December. All right, so let's talk about House of the Dragon. No real new news, but we do have some set photos. So let me take it over here and switch over to. We had a couple weeks ago, so I'll show these really quickly first. This is on Wiki of Thrones. These came out a couple weeks ago, so not a big major thing here. The first one here, we have one of the Kingsguard. I'm not sure which Kingsguard this will be. I'd imagine this will be during the reign of Jaehaerys, because in these other pictures we see a younger version of Rhaenyra and a younger version of Queen Alicent. You see dragon food back here, all these bones, and some of them are blackened. And again, this should be during the reign of Jaehaerys, because we do see the younger picture here of Alicent. And this is a wagon here. You'll see another zoomed out version of this. And then Here's a little zoomed out version of the same shot, but we also have young Rhaenyra right here. Very much Dany vibes right here. You see the southern haircut. She looks a lot like Dany, and we see her walking over to her here, so I'm imagining she's flown in to meet her for whatever, because they used to really get along back in the older days before politics took over their lives. And you see here a young Rhaenyra petting a blue thing, which will be her dragon, Syrax. And she looks almost just like Dany here as far as the dress and everything else. So it makes me sad just thinking about Dany in Game of Thrones. But I really hope this helps us heal. I did that video recently, a couple weeks ago, about how Game of Thrones broke all our hearts, and it's still the case. Hopefully, this will help us heal, at least seeing some of these great stories. Now, the new pictures, I'll pull those up as well really quickly. Let me pull them up over here. I have them saved here to my computer because these, let me go back to them, are new. They came out today. And let me explain a little bit about what's going on, because I'm able to tell you exactly what's going on in these pictures. So let me explain it first, then I'll show you the pictures. This, we're going to see some Daemon Targaryen, the Rogue Prince action in this show, and I'm really glad about it. There was a character called Kragus Drahar, otherwise known as Kragus Crabfeeder, and the reason he's called the Crabfeeder is he was an admiral from Myr who teamed up with two other countries, Lys and Tyros, and they formed this army called the Triarchy, and they took over the Stepstones from all these pirates. And if you're not don't remember, the Stepstones are right off the coast of Dorne. It used to be a landmass that connected Westeros and Essos, and now they were broken up apparently by magic and the Children of the Forest. We don't know how true that is, but the point being is they're a bunch of islands. And so they took over all these islands from these pirates, and what he would do was capture these pirates and tie them up on shore to these things driven in the ground, I guess stakes driven in the ground or whatever, and let them drown when the high tide came up. So he became known as the Crab Feeder. And so eventually they took over the Stepstones and ruled them essentially, but then they started charging all these tolls for safe passage. And because most people didn't care at first. They had no problem with it, whatever. But the problem is it started to affect all these Westerosi houses, all these tolls for safe passage, and it affected Corlys Valyrian the most, otherwise known as the Sea Snake. I did all those videos on the characters of House of Dragon. I'll leave that playlist linked in the description below as well. The point is, you don't want to fuck with Corlys Valyrian, the Sea Snake. So he and Daemon Targaryen got together and formed an army and took over the Stepstones and the War of the Stepstones and defeated Kragus, and eventually Daemon Targaryen beheaded him with his ancestral Valyrian steel blade, Dark Sister. And that's what we're going to see, I believe, during the show. So I'm glad they're putting all these side stories in there, and it's not just, major Targaryen stuff, because there's all these cool stories that happened during this time period. So let me switch over here and show you this. By the way, Corlys Valyrian did eventually crown the Rogue Prince Daemon Targaryen the king of the Stepstones. So here's your first picture. It looks like this is the Lys army here. And you got a bunch of booty, a bunch of loot, a bunch of booty, whatever. But this looks like to be on the Stepstones because of this picture. And this is what I was talking about, the crab feeder going to work here. You see men tied up to these stakes, and you see men already dead over here. He's been feeding crabs, obviously, and a couple more. So this is what they did when they took over the Stepstones to all these pirates. So this is going to be a pretty cool story. And then we have another random picture here. There's a couple more, but nothing really else major. This is a guy in Targaryen armor, so I thought that looked pretty cool to show you guys that. So during this time period, these are the same pictures, but just to show you this other guy, you can see the difference. That's why I think he's probably a Kingsguard. This may be a Strong, because House Strong has a pretty big part in this story during this time period, as far as some stuff I won't spoil right now, but this could be him. But anyway, you can see the difference between that and then going back to this one over here. You can see the kind of the regular Targaryen armor or whatever. Of course, these are all different houses that, support the Targaryens or whatever. So no surprise here. There's going to be different armors or whatever based off Kingsguard versus kind of the regular army. And then the other people will have slightly different versions as well. So anyway, House of the Dragon. Really looking forward to it. Now that I see, especially these side stories coming in, it's going to be really cool to see. And again, hopefully it kind of gives us back together. Hopefully it'll come out It will come out in 2022. Hopefully, it'll be in April. I believe it will be. Honestly, I think there's no release date definitive right now, but I believe it will be April, and I believe it will be probably Sunday nights at 9 o'clock, just like Game of Thrones. So hopefully that's the case, so we can all get together and watch at 9 o'clock and then go live after the show at 10 o'clock like we used to and get our little family back together. So it does come out in 2022. Everything is just around the corner. Anyway, guys, that's all for today. Thank you for all the continued support. Look forward to those book videos, those cover reveals and all that stuff. I'm really excited about it, as well as the audiobook being produced right now. So I'll release those as soon as I can. Again, I'm just waiting on Amazon to get their shit together. Thank you guys for the continued support, especially you guys on Patreon. And a huge shout out to my executive Patreon SmokeScreen producers. And of course, if you dig what I do here, please give these videos a like, comment, and a share, and subscribe to the channel so we can let YouTube know that we are still here. So I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.